Ever find yourself saying yes when you really want to say no? Maybe it's agreeing to extra work when you're already swamped, or making plans when all you want is a quiet night in. If you've ever felt guilty or anxious about setting boundaries, you're not alone. But here's the thing, learning to say no isn't just a nice skill, it's a necessity for your mental health. Today, we're diving into the art of saying no and how setting boundaries can help you live a more balanced, fulfilling life. 1. Why we struggle to say no. Before we get into how to say no, let's talk about why it's so hard in the first place. Most of us are conditioned from a young age to please others, avoid conflict, and be agreeable. While these traits can help us get along with others, they can also lead to overcommitting and burnout. Key reasons we struggle. Fear of disappointing others. We often say yes because we don't want to let anyone down or appear unreliable. Guilt. Saying no can make us feel guilty, as if we're being selfish or unkind. FOMO. Fear of missing out. We worry that by saying no, we'll miss out on opportunities, fun, or connections. Social pressure. There's a cultural expectation to be helpful, accommodating, and always available. Key insight. Understanding these reasons helps us see that saying no isn't a flaw, it's simply a boundary we need to learn to set for our own well-being. 2. The benefits of setting boundaries. Saying no isn't just about turning down things you don't want to do. It's about creating space for what truly matters and protecting your mental health. When you set boundaries, you're not just managing your time, you're taking control of your life. Benefits of setting boundaries. 1. Reduces stress and anxiety. By saying no to extra commitments, you free up time and mental energy for yourself, reducing the overwhelm that comes from juggling too many things. 2. Increases self-respect. When you prioritize your needs, you build self-respect and confidence. You're sending a message to yourself that your time and well-being are valuable. 3. Improves relationships. Believe it or not, setting boundaries actually strengthens relationships. It's about being honest about your limits, which fosters respect and clear communication. 4. Protects your energy. Boundaries help you avoid burnout by managing your energy wisely. You're able to focus on what truly matters to you rather than spreading yourself too thin. Quote to reflect. Saying no is not about rejecting others, it's about honoring yourself. 3. How to say no with confidence and kindness. Now that we know why boundaries matter, let's explore how to say no in a way that feels respectful and empowering. Remember, saying no doesn't have to be harsh. It can be kind and clear at the same time. 1. Be direct and honest. How it works. Instead of making excuses, be straightforward. A simple, "I'm unable to take this on right now" is often enough. Why it works. Honesty is respectful and avoids confusion. You're not leaving room for negotiation or false hope. You're setting a clear boundary. 2. Use the sandwich method. How it works. Start with something positive, then say no, and end with another positive note. For example, "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I can't commit to this right now. Let's catch up another time." Why it works. This approach softens the no, making it feel supportive rather than dismissive. 3. Offer alternatives when possible. How it works. If appropriate, suggest another way to help. For instance, "I can't join the meeting, but I'd be happy to review the notes afterward." Why it works. Offering alternatives shows that you still care without compromising your boundaries. 4. Practice saying no. How it works. Rehearse saying no in low-stakes situations, like declining a sales pitch or turning down a second helping at dinner. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Why it works. Practice builds confidence. When you're used to saying no in small ways, it becomes easier to do so in more significant situations. 5. Set clear priorities. How it works. Know your top priorities and let them guide your decisions. When you're clear about what matters most, it's easier to say no to things that don't align. Why it works. Clear priorities act as a compass, helping you make decisions that support your goals and well-being. Pro tip. Keep your responses short and to the point. Over-explaining or justifying your no can weaken your boundary and invite pushback. 4. Dealing with the guilt of saying no. One of the biggest challenges in setting boundaries is dealing with the guilt that often follows. It's normal to feel uncomfortable at first, but remember, guilt doesn't mean you've done something wrong. It just means you're challenging old habits. Tips to overcome guilt. 1. Remind yourself of the bigger picture. How it works? Focus on why you're saying no and how it benefits your mental health in the long run. This bigger picture helps put short-term guilt into perspective. Why it works? When you see saying no as an investment in your well-being, it's easier to move past the guilt. 2. Flip the script. How it works? Instead of thinking, I'm letting them down, reframe it to, I'm showing up for myself. Why it works? This simple shift in perspective reminds you that prioritizing your needs isn't selfish, it's necessary. 3. Practice self-compassion. How it works? Talk to yourself as you would a friend. If your friend was feeling guilty about setting boundaries, what would you say to them? Offer yourself the same kindness. Why it works? Self-compassion helps soften the harsh self-criticism that often accompanies guilt, making it easier to stand by your decision. 4. Remember you're not alone. How it works? Recognize that everyone struggles with saying no at times. You're not the only one setting boundaries, and it's okay to prioritize yourself. Why it works? Knowing you're not alone can alleviate some of the isolation and guilt that comes with boundary setting. 5. Communicating boundaries with others. Setting boundaries is one thing, communicating them is another. Here's how to let others know your limits without feeling confrontational. 1. Be clear and consistent. How it works? Clearly state your boundaries and stick to them. Consistency helps others understand what to expect. Why it works? When your boundaries are clear and consistent, others are more likely to respect them. 2. Use I statements. How it works? Focus on your feelings and needs rather than blaming or criticizing. For example, I need some time to recharge instead of you're asking too much of me. Why it works? I statements reduce defensiveness and keep the focus on your needs, making it easier for others to understand and respect your boundaries. 3. Stay calm and polite. How it works? Communicate your boundaries calmly and respectfully, even if others push back. Why it works? A calm demeanor reinforces your confidence and helps de-escalate any tension. 4. Be prepared for reactions. How it works? Not everyone will respond positively to your boundaries, and that's okay. Be prepared for mixed reactions and stand firm. Why it works? Anticipating pushback helps you stay grounded in your decision and prevents you from second-guessing yourself. 5. Reinforce your boundaries as needed. How it works? If someone continues to push, calmly restate your boundary. I've already mentioned that I can't take this on right now. Why it works? Repetition reinforces your boundaries and sends a clear message that you mean what you say. Call to action. Start small and practice saying no in everyday situations. The more you do it, the more natural it will feel. Remember, every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to your well-being. Saying no is an art, and like any art, it takes practice, patience, and self-compassion. Setting boundaries isn't about shutting people out. It's about creating space for what truly matters. So the next time you feel pressured to say yes, pause, take a breath, and remember that no is a complete sentence. You have the right to protect your time, your energy, and your mental health. You've got this.